and Member Rogers.
Aye. Okay, first item is the approval of the agenda. May I have a motion to approve this evening's agenda as presented?
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Member Extra,
Aye.
Member Jordan,
Aye.
Member Sandback,
Aye.
Member Mr. Peterson,
Aye.
Member Rogers.
Aye. All right, now on the approval of draft minutes. Can I have the first item, the approval of draft minutes for the regular Board of Education meeting of May 11th. May I have a motion to approve the draft minutes of the regular Board of Education meeting of May 11th, 2026?
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. And next we have the approval of the draft minutes from the Finance Committee meeting of May 7th, 2026. May I have a motion to approve the draft minutes of the Finance Committee meeting from May 7th, 2026?
So moved.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, first order of business is we have a public hearing for an FY26 budget amendment. May I have a motion to move into the public hearing for the FY26 budget amendment at 7:04. So move.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Member Extra,
Aye.
Member Jordan,
Aye.
Member Sandback,
Aye.
Member Mr. Peterson,
Aye.
Member Rogers.
Aye.
All right, that's Phyllis. I'll turn it over to you, sir.
Thank you, President Rogers. Board purpose of this hearing tonight is to provide information on the FY26 budget amendment. To also provide the opportunity for the board to discuss and provide a public comment before voting to adopt this amendment at the end of tonight's meeting. As mentioned back in the March tentative budget hearing, the reason for our amendment tonight. First, there's some expenditures related to the Evergreen edition that didn't quite make it from FY25 into FY26. Or that's what, instead of the opposite. Thought they would be paid in FY25, but they made it into FY26, so they increased expenditures in the capital fund by and then second, the 2025 bond series came on the books this year. Debt service levy takes on the 2018 payments. So this is the first overlap and last overlap. So it's moving forward that would be not necessary to budget for. And so I also use this opportunity to adjust some of our revenues figures to reflect what we actually levied during this tax season. The original budget was just a simple CPI based increase. The chart behind me displays the overall differences between the budget that was submitted in August and what will be voted on tonight for approval. Just very, nothing's really changed since that hearing in March, but I just wanted to highlight some of those changes from March that I wanted to bring up again tonight. The Ed fund, we are projecting now to increase by $182,000 from the originally budgeted $35,000. That is primarily due to that change in the tax levy. Again, we thought 3% increase that will be budgeted. But when we looked during the levy season about where our fund balances were in relation to total fund balances, we moved the majority of these over funds that were a little bit higher into our Ed fund to prepare to pay down some of our capital expenditures. So the O&M fund will decrease just a little bit from the original budget. Bond and interest will enter a deficit spend for this year due to that 2025 payment. But if we look down here, it's going to finish in a very respectable balance of $7,000. And that's going to be true for really the rest of these funds tonight. Everything that enters the deficit this year will finish with fund balances that are above our showing. In fact, if our projections hold, we will finish the year with 243 days cash on sheet, which is actually higher than last year. Questions or comments on the amendment? Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we'll open the floor for public comment on the FY26 budget amendment. Hearing no further comments, we will close Public comments, and does board have anything else that we should discuss? All right, seeing no further discussion, we will close the public hearing and return to the regular meeting at 7:08. Vote to get that
Motion to adjourn the public hearing. Second. Close the public hearing. Thank you.
roll call please.
Member Ingstrom,
Aye.
member Brennan,
Aye.
member Sandra,
Aye.
member Miss Peterson. Aye. Member Mr. Peterson,
Aye.
and then, member Rogers.
Aye. All right, so thank you for that, and now we're gonna move on to our administrative reports. And back to you, Dr. Felix, for the business and operation.
So. First, I want to touch just a little bit on, an update on the server refresh that we approved last board meeting. We had got the board's authorization to find a replacement, for up to $260,000. We had some data centers that were causing prices to fluctuate, demand, supply, everything was working against us. So after we received that approval, we started working that the next day, and Mr. Martin, as it shows in the report, was able to find exactly what we needed for $201,000. So we came in much less than we anticipated. I'll even provide a even further update. Friday, when we were here, we received servers and district. So we were not anticipating these to come in until October with a refresh project, hopefully during the winter, to cause, we don't want to disrupt when you take the server down, everything that goes with it. So now that these are in our hands, we're gonna be able to do this during the summer. So we're very, very happy about it. So things you just can't predict.
Questions?
Yes.
With your permission, Mr. Rogers, well, there was the point about extending the,
Yeah, we don't no longer have to do that.
you no longer have. to
Yes,
extend
so that was
the
one of the,
agreement.
yeah, the licensing ends, for these devices at the end of the school year. So that's why we were trying to get the replacements this summer. So not, so now that we're in, we could cancel that extension that was gonna allow us to go forward. Thank you. So another bad money that we don't have to throw. So
Great, thank you.
Good question, thanks. One question too, does this include like installation costs and stuff? Is that part of like the bid number or is?
yeah, everything is install, the 5-year license, everything that goes in with that server, so. And that, we hold our servers here at Benjamin Middle School, so everything kind of feeds on
You.
spoken wheel model. And then in regards to business and operations report, we received our first installment of our local property taxes in May. Update, June 3rd, we received the second one with 5 million plus. So if we had received that 3 days earlier, we would be able to include that in the May treasurer's. So we're very happy with that. And a property tax extension, we received around 52% in that first half of the payment, so we should hold our projections on the revenues pretty true. Illinois spring legislative session wrap up. Unfortunately, in here I had to report that our MCATs are going to be severely underfunded again this year. So they're already at historic levels of proration on our transportation claims. Those will only get worse. We don't know what those numbers are yet. So we'll see. SASSET debt certificate that Dr. McGill and I attended meeting to go a little bit more in depth on how that debt might impact our district. Great news is this is as cost neutral for us as we possibly can. We currently, the co-op as a whole is currently paying around $1.8 million in leasing and rent for all of their properties. It's crazy. Yeah, so this new debt payment for the districts will be under that they authorized up to that number. So now instead of this tuition payments going towards buildings that are being rented, leased will now become an asset.
We didn't meet the governing one. Didn't discuss this, but how is it gonna affect the district's debt extension levels?
So I don't know if this was short. Yeah, so our debt level is based on essentially what our EAV is. So we can take up to 6.9% of our EAV in debt. So that number is 24.8 million. So with our outstanding debt right now, with the bond we sold last year, we still have $15.6 million in that debt capacity. This is, $15,000 annually is not going, it's really a drop in the bucket. We would have to take.
I didn't know
$15 million loan to.
I didn't know it was gonna hit us a lump sum, because they have to guarantee the loan.
Right, it's a good question.
Or that extension, or it's gonna come in.
The other place this also could have hurt us was in the financial profile score at the end of the year, because there is a small percentage that's based on long-term debt that you carry. Just basic kind of calculations that I should have to sign, it won't decrease that, we're still in the number and we'd have to sell a lot of that. So, all in all, this good financial impact for the co-op and for the impact that we'll see. It's surface level. Good news on our workers' comp and property liability rates. Those are actually less than last year by 3%, which will take it. Even though it equates to $5,000, we'll take a decrease in expenditures. A lot of work going on this summer this year that kicked off Friday, and the guys were working on Saturday, getting everything prepared for next week. Any questions on the business operations reports? Thank you.
Thank you. That's good information from Springfield that bill was passed over to them.
Yeah, there's a lot of people screaming.
And since Dr. Fitzgerald is not here, I skipped over teaching and learning, so I'll pass it over to you, sir.
Yep, I'm gonna hit both of them,
Thank you.
okay? So one thing I'd like to point out, is that Dr. Fitzgerald and Mrs. Smith did the initial strategic plan leader training on May 26th. It was a really, good event, a little over an hour with all the leaders from both buildings in one room, kind of talking about what is the new model of the structure going to look like? What are some of the things that we're gonna be talking about with them over the next several months when they're gonna be planning for their first meeting back at Teacher Institute with their committees. And it was just a good overview and to kind of get some, answer some questions and kind of just see everybody who's gonna be those leads in the same room. It was really well done. Mrs. Smith and Dr. Fitzgerald put a lot of time into making that meeting productive and tailoring it to get really maximize the time you have with them. So I'm really excited about that, to be able to do that before the end of the school year, because it kind of all happened, kind of fairly quickly. But really what that can allow us to do is be able to kick off the year running. So thank you, Mrs. Smith and Dr. Fitzgerald for that work. I also gave each one of them one of my favorite leadership books, in case you were curious, right? If you like summer reading. Learning to Improve: How American Schools Can Get Better at Getting Better. This is like 100 education leadership books and continuous improvement leadership research in one book. Bless you. So if you don't want to read 100 educational leadership books, just read this one. And if you don't even want to read this book, there's a page on here that outlines the whole book, the 6 improvement principles. So you can just read 2 pages. So we went over that as well. As a shameless plug. But it's a good resource, and it kind of contextualizes all the things that we're going to be trying to do with our strategic plan process.
Are you getting a copy for all of us?
Would you like one?
I would.
I do have some extra copies. If you stay long enough, I can go back into my office and bring them out. Yeah, it's a good one. Felas, let's already talked about the SACID update, but I did want to mention one more thing, that this Wednesday we'll be meeting board of directors and we will be approving new articles of joint agreement and or bylaws. Those will be coming to the board in August, so after they're approved on Wednesday, I'll include them in my weekly update. Most of the changes in the bylaws are due to the new law that passed in Springfield that centered around dissolution. Like, bless you. And there is one more part in there that was added, though, that did allow some districts to be able to opt out of the capital plan. But now that we know what the funding model looks like, that was put in there just in case the funding model didn't look favorable to all the districts. But now that I see that out there, I don't expect any districts to be withdrawing from the co-op, but you know, can't.
I think I also had to add stuff. The after you've made your capital investment, that your capital investment is.
That's correct. So that's why we had in there's an opt-out provision where districts can say if they want to leave the co-op without being liable to that capital investment. But after that window, then you're right, if they did leave, they would still be liable for, guess what would be the word, for the money for the bonds, even if they would withdrew, they would still be liable for that. But then they wouldn't have part ownership of the asset. So, but if you stay in the co-op and you have ownership, and if there's a joint dissolution of the entire co-op, everyone agrees, and assets are given to the various districts, they would, you have a part ownership in that. The other thing I'll just add to the thing that SAS is working on, you know, John's been working on that with them, is that really, maybe not very many of us will be around when it is all paid off, but if it's a 20-year bond in 20 years, that 1.6 maybe million that's going towards a payment for essentially a mortgage is then going to be able to lower tuition costs for all the districts in the area. And it's not even including, you know, over those 20 years, there's going to be inflation. So that 1.6, you know, million in a mortgage payment, you know, in quotes, next year is not going to look the same when it's looking at 10 years. And so it's really a smart move. So I'm really pleased that they're going in this direction. And it'll be at their own home. You can do a lot of things. You have your own facility, your own home. Really make it your own. A few other updates, a lot of good end of the year stuff. The Benjamin Evergreen Spring Band and Choir Concert was phenomenal. So much talent. I had a chance to go to 8th grade debates. I saw 3 of them. One was homework should be banned. It's very convincing. Museums should be free to everyone, and TikTok and YouTube are bad influences. And this was in Mrs. Davis and Mrs. Claus' class. So the teams, it was really fun to watch. They're about 15 to 20-minute debates, and the teams had their arguments, and they had to, you know, make them have the evidence to support their claims, and they kind of went back and forth, and they presented. They all dressed nice to present. It was really good. It was just a really good performance task that combined a lot of different things: writing, listening, speaking, into one culminating activity. So that was a lot of fun. I also visited the memoir presentations in Megan Peters' 7th grade class, which was great. Another cumulative performance task for their class. 4th grades went to their annual Springfield trip, visited the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Museum, as well as a variety of other sites. So thank you to the 4th grade team for making this great annual tradition happen. Field day was great. Mrs. Smith and her team broke through the fence, said no fence can stop field day, and they had field day on the field, rocks and all. That won't be there in the future. But thank you to Mr. Tilk, who really takes the lead on spearheading all that. I want to also wish congratulations to the class of 2026 that are going off to high school now. We had a great ceremony in the Benjamin Large Gym. Really well done. The graduation committee did a great job decorating the gym. Sound system worked great. So hopefully that becomes a new tradition. And it was really special. You know, it was special to be back in that place. And the alumni speaker who came in, when I was talking to him afterwards, you could tell like it was, you know, he was back in where he was. You know, it was really nice. So hope that tradition continues in that main gym. We have one FOIA request from Mike Powers from local 265 for records on construction, renovation, maintenance, and service work plan. And that has been, that request has been responded to within the required timeframe. And then I want to do 2 more reminders. One, the July 13th meeting will be a special retreat meeting, and we're working on kind of a series of that. It won't go longer than an hour. I don't anticipate it going longer than an hour. It'll be this board, it'll also be the IASB rep, which will mean that most of the meeting will be in closed session. So we won't be recording that meeting. It'll be a good touch point. We'll review our board agreements. We'll also review our new kind of strategic management governance structure, the committees, and kind of situate that to the Board of Education presentation calendar for next year. So there's clarity on what this is going to look like next year with the strategic plan and committees in the process. And then finally, just a shout out to Nicole, who has helped launch on social media today, the Benjamin Alumni Network, to help our alumni stay connected. But this will also help us build a repository of alumni for future career exploration opportunities, as well as our future alumni Hall of Fame in the atrium area outside the gym. So spread the word when you see it on social media. I think it's on Facebook, LinkedIn, X, and all those things. So retweet it or repost it, whatever that is for the particular social media. Dr. Fitzgerald's report, he also mentioned the strategic plan work that him and Mrs. Smith led, which was great. He also notes in here that they've been reviewing and approving the curriculum writing request for the summer curriculum writing, and it really, there's a lot of different projects from ELA, science, social studies, math, STEM, art, executive functioning, English language learners, and student engagement. And the staff will do these projects over the summer, and then they will turn that completed work in to Dr. Fitzgerald and Mrs. Smith for approval. And it's really, teachers are, burning at both ends during the school year, so this gives them a time, they want to take the opportunity in the summer to get compensated. It's up to 10 hours for intentional, strategic curriculum planning for the school year. So thank you for all the teachers that are doing that over the summer. And then we've all started the beginning plans, or the drafts rather, of Opening Day Institute and our new teacher induction day. And what I should also add on here, we have 4.5 district leadership team retreat days, which is more than I think we had last year. So we can cancel some, we don't need them all, but we have a lot of time booked this summer for some really good planning to be able to help our strategic plan committees and also be able to kick off the year with a running start. And that concludes my superintendent / teacher report. So any questions?
Yeah, actually, maybe one comment, I'm sorry if I missed this.
Yeah.
I missed this on the agenda though, but we didn't approve our board meeting dates for next year. We did that in June of last year, so we'll probably have to do that in July. And
I think we did it in May.
we did it.
Look, maybe it's not on the website that I missed it. All right, good. Then we're
Well,
gonna-
we'll review, and if that hasn't
I get
been,
them posted on December.
Maybe that's what I was
I
gonna do.
Yeah, I usually do it for July 1st.
Same, very good. That's perfect.
yeah.
We did do it, yes. So sorry about that. And then one question just about the timeframe you get for teachers. They get up to 10 hours. Do you make that available for everybody, or is that like a bucket of time? You only approve so many projects? Just curious, sort of like.
I'll defer to Mrs. Smith on the timeline. I don't know, do they have deadlines, or is it just the beginning of the school year?
Beginning of school year, but their work technically starts July 1st in the new fiscal year.
Okay.
So July 1st through August. I think they have like mid-September to turn it in. But generally everyone does it before we go back to school.
So you find a lot of teachers take advantage of that and stuff like that? Okay, and they don't get paid for it, I assume, to fire people. Yeah, it's nice.
I had one question, sir. Next Monday starts school registration, correct? Just a shout,
Sir.
where do I come? Just a shout out to them, right? We're gonna-
Yeah, right at the district office, the district office
On my
will be open.
papers, on my
Yeah.
actual papers.
All your things. Shout out to Dr. Salamone, who has revamped the entire process this year. So we're trying to do it a little bit new, and we'll evaluate how it goes this summer and make any adjustments as necessary,
All
but
good to go for Monday, right?
we're all, oh, yeah.
The hours are posted, so for the drop off or emailing, and then, yes, the only thing we're asking is Nicole is new, there's me. Just a little patience, we're also learning, we're practicing some things today. But we should, yeah, we're ready for everything's in place.
Sounds good.
Okay. Next, we have a couple of committee reports. So first up, PTA report.
PTA. End of the year. So there's good news and some not so good news with the PTA. So, Andy, the secretary, sent me just a quick review of what we did, and I was even surprised, 30 plus programs during the year. You know, so I think that includes all the fundraising that's done, there's a lot of fundraising done. But the monies collected are all spent on all these different activities from, back to school in here all the way through the Coral Cove party last Thursday, was it? So, which everybody seemed to enjoy. The not so good news. The PTA bylaws, have stated there's 6 executive board positions. Well, 3 have run their course with the year, so 3 are not returning. And 3 that remain, have been there for several years, so. We need a new executive leadership board, so as of now, as of July 1st, there should have been board elections for the PTA last month. Nobody has volunteered, so I'm not sure how the PTA is gonna look next year, folks.
I have a meeting with Andy and Yuda on July 10th to strategize as well how the district can support maybe getting out additional information about the need for people to volunteer for the exec board position. So we'll also be collaborating with them and trying to help with some information. Encourage some people, maybe some personal phone calls too.
Yeah, like maybe, cause I imagine it's probably intimidating to step into some of those, so maybe there's like a little mentorship. Could be done. to
It
get
is
some people.
intimidating, it should be done as a group, one person should not have the responsibility.
That's right.
If you're designated PTA president, you shouldn't be, it shouldn't be the burden upon that one person to make sure the fundraising is done and the events are planned and scheduled and executed and cleaned up afterwards. That's a lot, so. So within that, I mean, I think Fun Run is the major fundraiser of the year. I don't know of any work that's being done. That should be done. It might have been 6 months in advance. Bazaar, I don't know if the bazaars, if there's gonna be a bazaar. Ice cream treat day, yeah, I'm doing ice cream. I evergreen, so yeah, that's my forever job.
Quest is there to help you out, so.
Nice. So that's my report. So any questions? Anybody in the viewing public have any questions? Just give me a shout out. I mean, how can you ever get the right people?
We get some more people that are interested, but yes, I'm sure spreading the word and assuring them that, I've experienced in my district a full change of PTO leadership, and it was like they're running around like chickens with their head cut off for the first 8 months until they realize what they can do. So hopefully get some people that
It's
are
not an easy job, right?
No.
But it can be if you did
But a very important.
yeah.
Yeah. My wife and kiddo went to the end of the year Coral Cove visit. It was only some stuff. Even though it was cold, but a little colder weather, but they did it was a great event.
Yeah, great.
Yep, I attended as well, it was a lot of fun, so.
Yeah.
And then I just wanted to say, we went also, thank you to Mrs. Greco for putting on the reading night of the Cougars, that was well attended, and that was also a lot of fun, and I know it's a lot of work that the kids do to get all their reading minutes done, and that was a lot of fun too.
Lend update, Dennis?
Sure. Superintendent and I attended the final Lend meeting of the year at District 88, which is Addison Trails and Willowbrook, they're part of 88. The first issue is there was a bill for the unemployment insurance for non-instructional employees that did not move forward, which is good news. The cell phone ban bill has passed and will go to the governor for signature. This will not change any of our practices. The third item is a change to the high school world language requirement passed both houses and allows for 2 years of a career or technical education course to satisfy this requirement. There was also a repeal bill that did not pass. End of report.
Thank you, Dennis. Okay, now we are moving on to public comment on agenda items. Does anyone have any public comment on agenda items? See it now?
Don't have a business report.
God, I saw that on the agenda, but I think you already did that.
Yeah, that was, somehow duplicated from AP3.
It's an extra.
Yeah, I.
Good, yeah, good catch though,
But I
but.
like hearing from Joel.
If there's one,
Do we have any more Bears updates you wanna know? Alright, so seeing none, for public comments, on agenda items, we will move on to consent agenda. Does any board member wish to remove any items of the consent agenda for some consideration? Hearing none, we'll move on to consent agenda. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So move. Second.
Any discussion on those items? Roll call please.
Member Angstrom,
Aye.
member Brennan,
Aye.
member Sutton,
Aye.
member Miss Peterson. Aye. Member Mr. Peterson,
Aye.
member Ryan.
Aye.
Okay, now we're on to action items. The first item is the approval of resolution authorizing payment of FY 26 bills. So this is just pre-authorization because we're having a traditional board meeting in July. So may I have a motion to approve the resolution authorizing payment of FY 26 bills as presented? So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on that one? Roll call please.
Member Angstrom,
Aye.
member Brennan,
Aye.
member Sutton,
Aye.
member Miss Peterson. Aye. Member Mr. Peterson,
Aye.
member Ryan.
Aye. Okay, next is the approval of the interest transfer resolution. Just gives authorization to transfer interest among interfund funds there. Best way to put it. May I have a motion to approve the interest transfer resolution as presented? Second. Any discussion on that one?
just a point of
Yeah,
clarification,
thank you.
Don, for your question on this is, it does seem like overkill sometimes because we would normally. Any fund transfer we make, we're gonna have board resolution at a later time. But some of these funds are restricted in its use, so if we levy money in a bonded interest, that money stays. But if you earn interest with this, that can get moved. So when we made the capital plan earlier, the funding of it was part of the use interest that we earned. To help subsidize some of those costs, so without this resolution, that money would stay in that fund. At the start of next fiscal year, so that just allows us, if needed, to move that within the time frame. Thank you.
Can I roll call please on that?
Member Angstrom,
Aye.
member Brennan,
Alright.
member Sutton,
Aye.
member Miss Peterson. Aye. Member Mr. Peterson,
Aye.
member Ryan.
Aye. Next is the approval of the resolution adopting the FY 26 budget amendments. May I have a motion to approve the resolution adopting the FY 26 budget amendment as presented?
So.
Second. Discussion on that one. Roll call please.
Member Angstrom,
Aye.
member Brennan,
Aye.
member Sutton,
Aye.
member Miss Peterson. Aye. Member Mr. Peterson,
Aye.
member Ryan.
Aye. Okay, and then let's make sure I got these. Okay, so we have two different items with the board policy. One is separate board policy 2150 and the other is second, that we can always follow. See, so we got a bunch of them to read here. So this is the approval of the second reading and subsequent adoption of Press Plus issue 121. May I have a motion to approve the second reading and subsequent adoption of Press issue 121 recommendations as presented and includes the following policies. 200, 220, 250, 260, 165, 530, 550, 5250, 5330, 665, 6100, 6145, 6170, 6180, 720, 750, 7100, 7185, 7220, 7230, 7240, 7260, 7280, 7300, 890. So. Second. Any discussion on those? Roll call please.
Member Angstrom,
Aye.
member Brennan,
Aye.
member Sutton,
Aye.
member Miss Peterson. Aye. Member Mr. Peterson,
Aye.
member Ryan.
Aye. Okay, so then next we have the approval of the second reading and subsequent adoption of board policy 2150. May I have a motion to approve the second reading and subsequent approval of board policy 2150 as presented? So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on that one? Roll call please.
Member Ansel.
Aye.
Member Jordan.
Aye.
Member Sender.
Aye.
Member Miss Peterson. Aye. Member Mr. Peterson.
Aye.
Member Rogers.
Aye. Okay, the last on the action items here is the approval of 2026-2027 substitute pay rates. Substitute pay rates. May I have a motion to approve the 26-27 substitute pay rates as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on those ones? It just really changes what the some of the pay is for the paraprofessionals.
I'm abstaining from vote just because I'm sub. Just so you're.
But yet all the rates are listed. So roll call please.
Member Ansel.
Aye.
Member Jordan.
Aye.
Member Sender.
Aye.
Do I still call Miss?
Yeah, so abstaining then.
Member Miss Peterson? Abstain. Member Mr. Peterson?
Aye.
Member Ryan?
Aye. Okay, now we're on to public comment on non-agenda items. Do we have any public comment on non-agenda items? Seeing none, we'll move on to discussion items. Is it moving here? So absent. Okay. I just want to point out the board did get a nice letter from Allison, Sarah, so thank you guys very much. This is on behalf of the breakfast and lunch provided for teacher appreciation from the board. So thank you guys for that. I'll pass on the card for that. And that's it. We're now on to adjournment. We have no closed session today. May I have a motion to adjourn the Board of Education meeting of 125 at 7:39. So second. All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Close same sign. Thank you all. We're getting quick with this. Yeah, we're long.
Alright.
The end of your, that's right, remember?
Yeah. Well, oh, believe me, when I saw that, I was like.
Thank you.
Those are some long ones.
Usually the last meeting.